Hello and welcome back. This is A Level Computer Science 9618 Paper 4 Python tutorial part 5, and we are going to understand about text files, binary files, exception handling, and raising our own exception, creating our own exception. Okay, so let's start from text files. So what is a text file? Text file, text in a file. You can create a new file. Okay, and after creating that file you can just write it down, you can just store anything, and you can read it from a file, all the stuff. Okay, so first of all I want to create a file. So how on earth am I going to create that file? I'm going to create that file by using the mode write, which is W. Okay, using W as a write mode, writing into a file. So whenever we try to use this mode, the file will be automatically be created using this name sample file.txt. Okay, so the file is created. Now I'm going to write it down and write it down. Okay, and I have just write it down into the file. Now suppose if I want to update that file, by opening that file, so I will use the mode append. Append is a mode that it will allow you to resume where you left off. Okay, so append, and then you just keep on writing down, and then you just close it. Now since I have created that file, I want to read the text from the file. So I'm going to use the R mode, which is read. Okay, so using this mode I'm going to read it from the file, and I'm just going to show it to the screen by doing output, by doing print. Okay, print line of file, etc. Alright, here are the code. File handle is equals to open sample file txt append. Okay, this is the append mode, which means that you are appending it, you are writing it, you are resuming it. Okay, so file handle is equal to open. Okay, you are opening that file and using the append mode, and so this has become the object. And for file handle dot write line of text, any string that you are passing into. Okay, any kind of string, so any kind of string that you are passing into, and then you just close it. Okay, so this is append. The same thing here. Whenever you're trying to create a new file, you will use the write mode. Okay, open, write, the same thing as append. Now suppose if you want to read, you want to open that file for reading, so you will use the read mode. Okay, line of text is equal to file handle dot read line, reading that line and saving into the line of text. Okay, file handle dot close. Right. Okay, so you can do in this way, or you can do in this way as well. With open my file.txt mode is equals to write or pen or read as file.write. you know you can do in this way as well by using the with keyword and as keyword. Okay, so right now this is in the write mode, and file.write new file. Okay, so this is how you can create a text file. You can read, you can append, you can write, create a new file. Okay, so this is how it works. So you just create, you append, and you read. So text file is very easy. Binary file, what is meant by binary file? Inside a binary file we are storing binary data into the file. Okay, now we can store objects, or you can say we can store records into this binary file. Okay, and the extension of this binary file would be .dat. Okay, this would be the extension for binary file. So yeah. Okay, so if we see this is the example of creating a record. Okay, so this is a class and I have created this class car record. This is the constructor. Okay, these are the attributes. Okay, fine. So we have created a class and now we are going to create an object. This is the example of creating one object. This is the example of creating hundreds of objects, or you can say records. Alright, car record for 1 in range 100. I just showed you guys in my previous video that you can do something like this, right? Like it is in a loop and you are creating hundreds of records into this car array. Car is equals to this. Now, so it becomes array of objects. Car index 1 is equal to engine size is equals to 2500. Engine size. Okay. So now suppose that we have created the record. Now it's time to save that record into the file. Import pickle. Pickle is a library that is used. It helps us to write it down into the binary file. Write it down into binary file. It helps us to write down into the binary file. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. Now car is equal to car record for I in range. Okay, so we are creating an array of objects. You can say records. Car file is equals to open, so we have opened the binary file, or you can say we are, since this is the write mode, okay, so we are actually creating a new binary file. So open to write, wb means open to write. Okay, for I in range 100, pickle.dump. Dump means that you are writing into the, which means you are dumping this object into this binary file. You are putting into the binary file. Okay, this is the object. It is going in iteration, and you are putting, in each iteration you are putting it. Then after that, whenever after this loop is complete, the file is closed, binary file is closed, and we have successfully write it down all the record into this binary file. Okay, just remember that we have used the pickle library to dump into the binary file. Now for example, if you want to read from this binary file, so again doing the same way, this is the mode RB. In here it was WB, but now it is RB, and we have created a new array. Okay, while true, again this is the loop. While true. When will it be true? It will be true if car.append pickle.load car file. Okay, car.append, which means that you are putting, okay, pickle.load, you are taking the records from the car file and putting into the array of cars. Okay, car.append pickle.load car file. Okay, car file.close. So while it is true, while it exists, while the load exists. Okay, you know what, you can put any condition in here. Okay, you can say that while pickle dot load, yeah, you can put any condition like that. Okay, so car file dot close, it is closed. Okay, so this is how you can write, this is how you can read from a binary file. Now this is known as a sequential file, sequential reading writing. Okay, you are doing in sequence form. What happens if you want to do it in in random access, like hashing? This was in sequential form. Now this is, okay, this is in random access, which means in hashing form. We are using hashing function to calculate the address, and using that address to store that particular record. Okay, random access, whenever you heard the word random, then we are talking about hashing, hash values using the hash table. So whenever you've been asked, whenever you heard this word random access means that you are just going to you're going to use hashing. Okay, Using a hashing function, we will just going to calculate the address, and using that address we are going to read or we are going to write. For example, import pickle. Okay, this is a record. Okay, you know what, forget this. Card is equals to open. Okay, we have opened this. Yeah, read and write from binary file. Okay, right now we are writing it. Right now we are doing write. Okay, we are writing it for now. RB plus, we can write, we can read, but right now in this code we are writing it. Okay, because we have used the word dump. Okay, car file is equals to open. We have opened the file. Address is equals to hash. Hash is the function that is used to calculate the address. Okay, so how will it calculate the address? By passing any ID. Okay, this car dot vehicle ID. Let's suppose the vehicle ID is 1509, and now we are going to use the hash function to calculate the address by doing putting a mod 10 or something like that. So if I put mod 10, then it will give me 9, I think. Yeah, so you can set this that 9 is the address that you're going to save. Okay, this is the index. So car file dot seek address dot seek dot address, so this has been used, this one is been used as an address, as an index for car file array, or you can say line number. Yeah, line number you can say, because this is the car file dot seek index 9, which means line number 9. So in the line number 9, pickle dot dump, this car is the, obviously this is the record that we have created, this car file. Okay, car file dot close. So we have successfully stored the car record into the binary file by using hashing. So this is random. Okay, now suppose that we want to read a record from a file by using that particular by some particular address. Okay, for example, that you have this is a file, and I have saved the record in line number 6. So I need to calculate this, and in order to calculate this, I'm going to use the ID of that record. Okay, for example, this is the ID of the record is 1506. Okay, the ID of the record is 1506. You put this into the hash function, and it will give you the value 6. So 6 will be the address, or you can say the index that you will going to use to write it into the file or retrieve it from the file. Okay, so again the same thing, address, you are calculating the address is equals to hash vehicle ID, the same thing, vehicle ID. Okay, car file dot seek address, going to that particular index, and then this car dot picker dot load, you are retrieving that record from a file into that particular address, into that particular line number. Okay, dot pickle, so pickle dot load, so you're putting in here this car. Okay, so you have successfully retrieved the object, the record from a file, car file dot close. Okay, so this is how you can. Okay, and by the way, this is random access, because you are directly just calculating the address and then using that address to retrieve it from a file or writing down into the file. So this is very fast, this is random access. Okay, it's not sequential, it's not something like that you are this is the file and you're searching one by one in a line. No, you are actually using the address to get that object. Okay, so this is the meaning of random access. This is how you can use hashing in Python. Okay, binary file is done and text file is done. Welcome to exception handling. Okay, suppose that you are writing down the code and you like, for example, there are so many exception handling, like file exception handling. It could be possible that if we are opening that file, that file is not opening, or it was interrupted during when opening the file. There could be any kind of excuse or any kind of exception for opening that file, okay. So supposing I am opening the file sample.txt, and all of a sudden an error had occurred, that something went wrong while I was opening that file. So how am I going to handle that error? So I'm going to handle that error by using exception handling, okay. Exception handling prevents the system from crashing. It always helps to make sure that the system is going into the normal flow. It prevents crashing, okay. Prevents crashing. It helps us to handle the error, okay. Help us to handle the error, okay. So, and there are so many things, right? So this is exception handling. For example, supposing enter an integer number of string and n is equals to n number of string print n, okay. Now let's suppose if instead of putting 1 2 3, what happens if I put a or b or c string? If I put that, and if I try to, if and after putting this, and these lines are executed in the try block. Try block means that you are actually testing this line, whether it will whether it will give an error or not. So for example, try except, okay, for example, I'm trying an experiment, whether this experiment will succeed or fail, okay. I'm trying it. So this word try means that you are trying an experiment, you are seeing, you are observing, you are analyzing that whether this experiment of mine will succeed or fail. If it gets failed, then it will come to the except block, okay. If it succeeds, then it will go in a normal flow, it will not execute this one. If it get failed, then it will come to the except block. So I have put ABC, or you can say A. It will give an error, and then it will come into the except block. This was not an integer, okay. It will print this statement. So try except. So this is how you can use exception handling. Another example here is, for example, you are opening the file. I'm opening a file, and at the same time, after that I have created a dictionary with this key value pair, but I'm printing the wrong key value. I'm putting the key which doesn't exist. So this will definitely going to give me an error, okay. But there can be two possible error. Number one is what happens, it could be possible that the file would not open for any reason, okay. For any reason the file didn't open, okay. So it might give me an error, and then it will lead me to an except block, okay. And the same thing here is, this will give me an error for because this kind of key doesn't have a pair value, okay. So this will definitely going to give me an error, so it will again put me into the except block. But here's the thing, I can use this except, I can just put except, and there was an error, but I don't know that whether this error was caused by opening a file, or by this line of code. So which error was that which made me to come into this block, okay. So in order to find it out, I'm going to make a specific situation, okay. For example, except file not found error. So this is a condition that I put, that if, for example, the file did not open for any reason, then it will come into this exception, okay. Except file not found error, and then it will run these two lines, okay. Now what happen, and but what will happen if I mean, supposing that the file opened successfully, but the dictionary part, the dictionary line was it gave me an error, because obviously the key doesn't exist. Okay, so I have again put a condition, except key error. There's a key error in the dictionary because this key doesn't exist. If this key doesn't exist, then it will come into this exception. Okay, except key error as error message. Okay, for now you need to forget this and see this, that except key error, you are putting a condition that if there is a key error, I mean, you are trying this code and it will give a key error, so it will come in here. Except key error, you're putting a specific condition that if it gives me a key error, then this line of code will run. Now I have put an extra code, except key error as error message. Okay, this is an error message. Okay, it's a message, and then using this message I can print it out in here. Okay, printf that key error message does not exist. Okay, this is a message of the error. Okay, so this how you can put a conditionally putting a specific condition while using exception handling. You can create your own exception, your own user defined exception, by using the raise keyword. Raise, type error, putting any kind of condition, but for example, file not found error, key error, type error, or arithmetic exception error, or so there are so many things. So this is a condition, this is a keyword, raise, type error, and this is a message. This is an error that I made it up. Okay, so this is how you can create your own exception handling error. Right, so this is part 5. This was part 5, and we have completed text file, binary file, and random access binary file, and exception handling. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.